working with all these guys in the first year or two. It's unbelievable. You even had matches with a young Steve Austin at the time, right? Back in Memphis?
Oh, yeah. We all started in Dallas back in the day, working for Jerry Lawler. I think Steve came in when it was the USWA. And I think, but he came in, he was cool. Steve was cool back then. We had a lot of talent back then. I mean, everybody who's anybody has come through Memphis. And I mean, any name you throw out has come through Memphis and worked with Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler has worked with everybody.
And that was, I know you've touched on it before, but that was one of your big breaks. I mean, that was one of the big matches on TV, right? You and Lawler?
Yeah. Man, I've had such a different path to becoming a professional wrestler, different than most. And I wasn't a wrestling fan. I'll be honest, I wasn't a wrestling fan growing up. I grew up in the 70s, and back then in the Bay Area, roller derby was much bigger than wrestling. You'd be at the Cow Palace, roller derby would sell it out, wrestling would have half a house. And so we were roller derby fans. I knew Rocky Johnson, Haystack Calhoun, Ray the Crippler Stevens, guys like that. You knew their names, but I didn't really follow. Ernie Ladd, we didn't really follow it. But for me to fall into it, I fell into it from a movie, actually, called Over the Top. It was an arm wrestling movie with Sylvester Stallone in it. And I made a call. I went to the Monster Factory in Paulsboro, New Jersey, only because I was a biker at the time, and Bam Bam Bigelow, with all the tattoos and stuff, he went there, and I'm like, well, I'm dealing with bikers all the time, so I'm like, well, he went there, must be cool, so I went there. I was there a very, very short time, and I don't know if it was 2 months, 3 months, it wasn't that long. And then Jerry Lawler seen me. He offered me a little contract to come work a program with him with Memphis. But here's the kicker. I had never, ever had a match in my life. I didn't know anything. Instead of going to class, I'm going to strip clubs, I'm going to bars, that was my life back then, right? And so my very first match ever was against Jerry the King Lawler, and I went over in the middle, not knowing more than to lock up, and for some reason I knew how to do a drop-down toe hold. And I think it was only because I was there that day that we did that. And so it was pretty cool. I came in there, Jerry's like, just listen to me, kid. I'll get you through it. So I literally did everything that Jerry Lawler told me to do. Put your chest up, yell at the people, grab a hold, you're selling too much, you're selling out. I just did everything he told me, and that's how I got my start there.
Yeah, you almost go in blind to it, and he's guiding you in the match, right? I mean,
yes.
He's helping you out to make this thing work.
He's telling me everything what to do, and I'm just doing what he tells me. That's crazy, though. I mean, then we worked the program with him, and then they didn't know what to do with me because I was so green. I couldn't lead no match, and so I was so green. They said, well, we're going to bring this other kid in. He's been in the business for about a year. He's a big, tall, redheaded kid, and we're going to have you guys work against each other. Maybe, we can get this to go. So they brought him in. It was Mean Mark Callis at the time. No, it was Master of Pain. He was Master of Pain, and that's when I met Undertaker. And then we had a match, and it was so horrible that they didn't know what to do, so they put us together and made us a tag team. And from that day on, we became really good friends.
It was like two things that don't matter. You just put them together and make it work, right?
We had a lot in common. He just didn't know it yet. We had to bring it out of him.
Was he more shy back then? I feel like his persona over the time he was around you.
Dude, he was listening to that long hair guitar music. The band, you guys know what I'm talking about. Motley Crue and stuff like that. He was into that. He didn't drink whiskey. He didn't have a Harley. He didn't have a tattoo. And when I met him, mind you, I'm a biker and I'm hanging around a lot of big white dudes that are all tatted up. And it was weird to see a dude that big that wasn't tatted up. And I used to tell him, hey, bro, you're too big and white not to have tattoos. You're too big not to drink Jack Daniels. And you definitely need to get you a Harley. So we started working all that, and he fell right into it. What's cracking, lacking, everybody? WWE Hall of Famer, the Godfather here, and you're watching Title Match Network. Check it out. Peace.